How's it going out there? It's nice to have a microphone. Nice to see all you guys. There's a lot of girls here for some reason. I love this clicker. You're only going to see one thing, that I don't need a script to speak to you. Everything that I say is from the heart. You get the pun. I hear a lot of people talking about how blockchain is going to change the world. Blockchain's been around for 10 years. It hasn't changed much. You could use it on the dark net. You could use it to try and send some people money. What you'll find is that it doesn't work that well. So let's talk about the dark net. You go on the dark net, why are people on the dark net instead of the clear net? Because they want to do things that other people don't want them to do. They want to buy porn that people might not like. They want to buy drugs that people might not like. They don't want to have those things tied back to them. So why are they using Bitcoin? Because it's censorship resistant. So if you need censorship resistance, the blockchain is a fantastic way to get it. It might be the only way to get it. How many people really need censorship resistance? Statistically. Well, how many illegal drugs do you buy a year? It's a small percentage of your expenditures per year. So if you look at the market cap of Bitcoin, which there's 18 million coins, they're about $8,300 a coin currently. You got a market cap just over, 110 billion, something like that. What percentage of those billions is from people that need censorship resistance? 4%? 5%? Well, what's all the rest of the money from? Why do we have such high valuations? For the same reason Ponzi schemes have high valuations, because lots of people buy and they don't sell. Well, that's pretty good if you want to create a new currency. New currency is only useful if it has a large market cap. Wars of liquidity are what make currencies better than other currencies. Why is the US dollar the top currency in the world? Because it has the largest liquidity. If you want to buy it, you want to sell it, the market doesn't move against you. You don't have much slippage. It's accepted everywhere. It's not the best currency because they keep printing it all the time, but it's better than all the other crappy currencies that they print more of every year. And so a lot of people have shorted the dollar and been destroyed because they forget that the other things the dollar trades against are crappier for the most part. Gold was crappier for the most part for a long time. It had its peak at about $1,900 in US dollar to gold pair per ounce in 2011. Now it's 2019. It's been 8 years. Just this year it went up 30%. It still needs to go up another 30% to get back to the all-time high that it had, right? And this is known as the most stable currency that you can get. It's so stable that the central banks of countries buy it to secure themselves against existential risk, right? So in Europe, you guys tend to have a couple wars every once in a while here, last 100 years or so, and whoever held the gold got to recover the best when it was all said and done, right? So what do I tell this to you guys? Bobby Lee come up here and told you, don't sell until it's 700,000 a coin or something like that. It's a strong statement, right? It turns out that in the real world, everything is an S-curve. There's always something that caps your adoption. Nothing goes up forever. Could Bitcoin become $700,000 a coin? Sure. It's very easy to do if the dollar becomes worthless, right? Then 700,000 US dollars a coin isn't that much because the dollar's not worth that much. You don't want to live in that world, right? You don't want the entire world to burn, but you have a larger slice of a smaller pie. The world's better off if we have larger pies. So my belief system, the best thing a cryptocurrency can do is go up in value, right? Crypto's been around for 10 years, just for fun. How many of you guys used Bitcoin today? This guy almost raised his hand. That guy raised his hand. I'd say there's maybe 100 people here, so that's 0.5% maybe used Bitcoin, right? Why? Because it's not that useful, right? If you want to buy something with Bitcoin, they can't rebill you, right? You can only pay them once. You can only push the payment. So that breaks any subscription model. Can't do it. Then that guy, if he wants to rebuy his Bitcoin, he has to pay, if he's on Coinbase, 0.5% fee to get in. Or he goes to an ATM and he pays a 10% fee to get in to replace his coins. Now, when he sends his coins to that company that he paid 1% to 10% to get, he can't charge them back if they screw him. And he doesn't get any reward points, and he can't do rebilling, which is the reason we don't have adoption for this stuff. Now, I tell you the truth about Bitcoin, which most people want to hear, do not want to hear, because all of you guys either own crypto or want to, that's why you're here, right? You have to understand that even though it can't cure cancer, it's still the highest, fastest appreciating asset that's ever existed, and that should be enough for you. It doesn't need to cure cancer. It doesn't need to actually do payments well. We're lucky that it does store of value well enough. Now, how much is store of value worth? Gold's worth $9 trillion. $9 trillion. A couple months ago, earlier this year, it was worth $7 trillion. It's up 30% this year. That's a lot of money. Do you think if you bought gold, you're going to get a 10x? Do you think it's going to go up to 90 trillion anytime soon? Nope, it's unlikely. Why? Because the larger economic mass that exists, the harder it is to move it, the harder it is to get really insane returns. Now, I got into Bitcoin and mined full blocks myself without a pool, right? Because back then, there were so few people involved that you could just turn your GPU on and mine as many coins as you wanted. That epic died very shortly after I got into it. It got very hard to make coins. It got so hard to make coins, you can't make them with GPUs anymore, which is a problem, right? If the only thing that Bitcoin does well is censorship resistance and appreciate, because most of it's for speculation, well, that means that having centralized miners control who can join the network is terrible. There's only 4 companies in the world that you could probably buy a miner from and attempt to be cash positive buying Bitcoin. And they're all, Bobby Lee says China's not where they're at. China is where all they're at. China's where all the mining's at. China's where all the manufacturers at. China's where all the cheap labor's at. China's where all the cheap electricity is, which is why all the mining's in China, on top of the fact that they have currency controls there, which make it so that you can't send money out of the country. You have a cap on how much you can send, unless you can get into crypto and get around it. And so it's the perfect storm of all of crypto being successful in China more so than anywhere else because of capital controls, because of cheap labor, because of electronics manufacturing in Shenzhen, and because they love gambling over there. And because speculation is such a large component of cryptocurrency valuation, the Chinese run it. There was a token called Plus Token in China that owns 1% of all Bitcoin now. Straight Ponzi scheme. Ponzi scheme is where they promise you that they're going to return you a lot of money, but they don't actually do it. They run out of money. They pay you, they get new money from these guys, they give it to the old guys, but eventually they can't do that anymore, and then they just exit scam with whatever money they had. These guys exit scammed with $1 billion. They have 200,000 Bitcoin. They've got, I think, 600,000 Ethereum. They also got a lot of US and other stuff. Now, those founders got arrested and extradited to China. I think the main guy is still free. And it sucks for me because I want to know where their coins are so that I can stop them from claiming these, because I don't want to give them free money, right? I'll give you an example. So what does this mean? I think that you can build a better Bitcoin. I think that Bitcoin has a lot of problems. I've been in Bitcoin since the beginning. I'm an expert on it. And there's things that I wish it could do better, right? So the mining ecosystem is terrible. What are we doing in mining? We're protecting ourselves. From what? The miners themselves. It's a protection racket. It's a scheme. The only people that can attack you are the same people that you're paying, please don't attack me. And what do they do with that money? They take that money that you give them and they sell it on the market, pushing the Bitcoin price down to give it to electric companies to pollute the environment. Now, we have to do that in Bitcoin because that's a security model. We use proof of work, but they're overpaid. And there's a lot of cryptocurrencies that move a lot of value that produce less waste and less pollution, right? So let's do a thought experiment. If we wanted to generate a new cryptocurrency with the goal of appreciating faster and higher than any other crypto had ever done before, how would we do it? Well, we'd need a lot of people to buy it, right? Well, who's the easiest people to get to buy crypto? People that already have crypto, because they can't spend it anywhere else. And they want to make more ROI. And if you're a Bitcoin holder, the only way for you to get more coins is to lend them out on exchange and take the chance you never see them again. Exchanges get hacked all the time, right? You can lend your coins out and hope you get more. Now you're making a return on your Bitcoin. What else could you do? You could sell your Bitcoin and hope that by buying mining hardware, you get more Bitcoin later. It never works. It absolutely never works. You can go back through history and pretend that you bought coins or hash rate at any point, and the coins always win, because the coins start appreciating the minute you buy them, and with the hash rate, you get your coins later when the price is far higher and you get far fewer coins. So what if we could get rid of the miners, not pay them block rewards, piggyback on top of Ethereum where they're doing trustlessness for free? If you pay a couple pennies for an Ethereum transaction, you're not getting the transactions rolled back, you're not getting 51% attacked, it's totally secure, 4 of the top 10 cryptocurrencies in the top 10 market caps were launched as ERC20 tokens. EOS, TRX, BNB, Ethereum itself, more or less. So if security and trustlessness is already free, why should we overpay it with block rewards? Why don't they just make their transaction and that's enough, right? What else could we do? Well, how do we onboard all those crypto users that have crypto? We give them free crypto, just like Bitcoin Cash did, over $1 billion project. Just like Lumens did, over $1 billion project. Just like XRP did, over $1 billion project. When you go through the top 10 coins, giving free coins to people is a wonderful way to onboard them, like freemium, like coupons, and then they buy more because they like it, right? We could also attack a larger market. Can Bitcoin do all of finance? No. Why? Because they only can give rewards to miners, and they don't care about things like holding. In the real world, we care about holding. If you go to the bank, what are the top 3 most successful products at the bank? Savings account, checking account, time deposit, CD, certificate of deposit. You lock up your money, they give you a better interest rate. Do we have that in Bitcoin? Nope. Why? Because you can lock up your money, but you won't get any rewards. You won't get any benefits from it. You just won't be able to spend your money. That sucks. So what if we control the supply and create a smart contract that says when you lock up your money, you get all the inflation. You get all the new coins, not the miners. Now you're paying people to hold the price up because they can't sell the locked coins. In Bitcoin, you're paying miners to dump the price, to buy electricity to pollute the environment. It's the exact opposite. So we reduce the price pressure from miners selling. We give free coins to Bitcoin users. If you guys have Bitcoin, you'll be able to claim these for free, trustlessly. It's not an airdrop. Nobody hands you the coins. It's not a fork. There's no Bitcoin code in it. You can read the code. It's on the website. Giving people free money is a very easy sales pitch, right? Now, how do we get rid of the whales? So, for instance, Bitcoin Cash gave the Mt. Gox trustee 190,000 Bitcoin Cash. Legally, all he could do was dump them on the Bitcoin Cash holders' heads. And that's what he did. He sold 40,000 Bitcoin. He sold 40,000 Bitcoin Cash. He dumped the price of both things. And how was the world better for it? The world was worse for it. So we remove that guy. We don't let him claim. We know his addresses because they're in the court documents. If I find the plus token people, I'll remove them too, but they keep moving their coins around, so I'm probably going to fail at it, regretfully. Those guys don't need any more money. They already have 1% of Bitcoin from scamming. It's just tragic. It's funny when you start counting what percents of Bitcoin are owned by other people. 1% is owned by Plus Token, 1% is owned by the Winklevoss twins, 6% sitting on exchanges I know the addresses of. Maybe 40% is lost, and Satoshi's holding about 5%. He's got 1 million coins, and there's 18 million total. I hope Satoshi's kids are nice people if he gives his coins to them. I'm up here defending Bitcoin rather regularly from attackers inside and out. I don't see Satoshi doing the same thing. I don't see him writing improvement proposals. I don't see him letting people know that the real Bitcoin has the BTC ticker and no other ticker. It bothers me to a bit. In my opinion, he's either deceased or cowardly. There are other founders that have started cryptocurrencies with multiple $1 billion of valuation that don't hide away like cowards. They're out there speaking publicly like Vitalik, right? Vitalik founded a currency, speaks publicly, improves it, markets it. He does a great job with it. Satoshi's doing none of those things. Not writing code, not publishing. I don't, if he's alive, he owes us more than what he's doing. So what else could you do to make a currency go up? Well, make it so people don't want to sell it, right? So if you give people a bunch of free coins and the price goes up really high, well, we've had that. That's a bubble. Well, how do you get it so it never goes down? Time locking, right? So this is the first currency that will have a chart of future market supply, which has never existed before. In Bitcoin, you know what the future total supply is, but you don't know when Satoshi's going to dump on you. You don't know when Gox is going to dump on you. You don't know when the Ponzi schemers are going to dump on you. And if they told you, you wouldn't believe them. In this system, when people lock their coins, you know when everyone's coins are coming out of stake, so you know whether the price is likely to go down when those coins become available or not. And since everyone knows what the future looks like, you should get less volatility. Up volatility, everyone loves. Down volatility, people don't love. I bought Bitcoin at 30. It went down to 1. It went down to a penny on Mt. Gox, was the only exchange at the time. That sucked to hold from 30 down to a penny. And then I held it all the way from 1,200 down to 266, then 20,000, got a little bit smarter, told people to short at 19. Told them it was a very good deal to short at 19. Called the 20K Christmas several months earlier at about 3 or 4K, which you guys know if you are on my YouTube channel, Richard Hart. or my Twitter account, Richard Hart Win. So I think Bitcoin can do a lot of things better than it does. I think, and any of you guys Bitcoin miners in here? You'll never meet them. They won't speak to you. They don't care about you. They won't talk to you on Twitter. They're not your friend. They do not help the price. They sell the coins. Miners are not your friend. I think mining GPU, which is what you can do on Ethereum, is way better. All of you guys that have a gaming computer or a laptop with a video card in it, you can mine Ethereum and actually be part of the network. If you want to mine Bitcoin, you can't. You have to beg some foreign national company to maybe send you the machines when they can still make profit and not waste all of the first week that you receive a machine is half of the profit the machine will ever make, because mining difficulty is at all-time highs. The price isn't at all-time highs. Price was 20K, now it's 8K. That's not all-time highs. That's 1/3 of all-time highs, right? What else could you do to make a coin go up more? I guess you could do fake partnerships with, companies. Like there's, a lot of companies say, oh, we're teaming up with McDonald's. No, you're not. You shop at McDonald's. You're not teaming up with McDonald's, right? Oh, we're working with IBM. Oh, yeah? What good thing did they do? How's Watson working out? No Watson anywhere? Scam? Hype? Yep, lots of hype, lots of scam, right? What else can you do to make a currency go up? Fix unit bias. Nobody wants to pay 0.032 for something. People hate decimals, so you should have more units. Referral program, right? Amazon has a referral program. Tesla has a referral program. Ponzi schemes have referral programs. Does Bitcoin have a referral program? Nope. Which is why I don't see any ads, because no one can make any money bringing you onto Bitcoin. Sucks. So when you go on at Facebook, you go on Google, all you see is people that run Ponzi schemes that have high margin. Every dollar they get is 100% margin. They can invest 9 out of $10 they get into marketing and still be cash positive. You can't do that in Bitcoin. You've got very, very low margins. The only ads you might see are from exchanges that screw you with fees. Well, that's all the opposite of what Bitcoin is built for. Bitcoin is built to be trustless. It was meant to get rid of counterparties. The only people that have gotten extremely wealthy on Bitcoin are holders and exchanges that beat you up with fees, and token founders, right? And that's it. Those are the only people that really, really kill it in crypto. Everyone else has a hard time. The guys at Paxful, it looks like they do a good job, right? Were you trying to do questions? You guys want to do questions? You guys seem tired out there. I'll try it, but if your questions suck, I'll just finish out my 2 minutes talking. Any questions from the audience? Can you think of any way to make a currency better than Bitcoin? Here's your chance to say how. Nobody. You guys just all love Bitcoin. It's perfect. No better currencies. I met a BSV maximalist last night. I know there's people that like things other than Bitcoin in here. Nothing.